Hey guys, so I'm trying to do this quick lesson. I don't know how quick it's gonna be, so let me not lie to you from the jump. This lesson, just so we can have an understanding because we've missed days, and so that you know what you need to do in order to be successful at this. Okay, so I'm trying to do this so that you guys don't have issues with your research, and that we could do this preemptively because we lost so much time. And I want to discuss how you're picking your topics and beginning your research. All right. So I want to discuss things just to help you before you get in too deep. All right. So at this point, you should be working on your research question. And so your research question needs to follow certain guidelines to ensure that your topic and your argument are in a aligned in such a way that you are actually doing the task at hand. So let's talk about it. So the research topic, you need to have that in order to have a successful paper. So we're going to talk about you should already have an understanding of the stimulus material. We read it, we discussed it. You should have or should be making a legitimate connection between two of the stimulus sources. So you should have some kind of theme or themes in mind. And then this is where you should be working, is bridging the connection between the stimulus sources to a research topic. And then by the end, you should have an argumentative essay that considers multiple perspectives. You should be getting a further evidence by conducting additional research to establish a position and claims that answer your research question. And then conduct research on the topic to create a debatable research question. So basically what it's saying is that you're doing some initial research to get a hold of a good topic. Okay, so that's what we're doing. And just FYI, I'm using some lecture notes or videos from AP as my basis, and I will share the document so that you guys can see it. But it has the link into the document. All right. So, the first thing when it comes to your topic, you need to avoid looking at your research question as basically your connections to the stimulus material. Okay, so sometimes you could pick two sources that do not directly respond to each other, that may be counter arguments to each other. And so basing your research question on these sources can prove problematic. Okay, so you just need to make sure that you actually are not doing this because it can cause you problems, such as having a topic that's too broad, or not something that's not an actual issue, or is not legitimately debatable. All right. So what should you do? You should look at your sources A and B, come up with a research idea or topic, and then a question that you are trying to answer through your research. So basically, so it could be something like, so if we were looking at the music, if we were looking at that music topic that we did before we started our official PT2, you could look at how does, no. I think I want to say something like, okay, so oh wait, I did the question instead of the topic. So I might, in this one, so this would be my question, sorry. And then my topic would be something about protest songs, or protest music. Okay, because that was a general theme. Okay, so to what extent are I put research songs? It's just been it's already like, it's been a crazy week, so protest songs. So that would be my research question. All right. Now, looking at how I did that. All right. So let's look at to what type of questions you should be asking yourself while you're making your connections. What is the ideas you are considering? What are two sources that you are connecting? So they should be specific and provide specific lines of text that you want to use that are from the sources. How do the sources connect to one another and your idea? What is a theme that is shared among the sources you are using, and why are you interested in this? And the reason why you want to do this is that just for your own benefit, is just so you have clear thinking on your topic, and so that you're not veering off topic. You know what you're trying to do. You have the connections and the and in the sources that you want to use and build on right there at the ready. Okay, so you should have your mind. You should go through these things and really focus your energies on how you are going to connect these sources, and these could be counter arguments. These could be the context. These could be just the resources or whatever, but you just need to make it explicit for yourself so that you don't have confusion as you're going on with your research. All right. So, all right. And the reason why I said that is because if you don't, you tend to have people who don't tend to have these problems. And the paper is not clear, it's unfocused, and so it's not successful. So please avoid cherry picking quotes. If you're taking a quote out of context, that is not going to help you with this paper. All right. So avoid using sources as a jump off. Okay. If you can't, if you're just using one source, then that's not really using the connective part, and then it limits your focus to the point where it's not debatable. All right, so you just need to make sure that you are considering multiple topics when multiple sources when you're considering your topics, and building your research questions. So there are two types of research questions that this paper can answer. All right. It's either a solution-based question or a position-based question. All right. So either way, in a solution-based, you're going to say, is this the best, what the solution is, and to an issue, and why this is the best solution. Your position base is yes or no, maybe so. And it has why your argument is most valid. All right. So those are what you're looking at. Okay. So we can look at two different types. All right. So here we go. The types, these are sentence stems to help guide you on asking a clear question. Some of you have formed your questions in a way that it is not indicative of the type of paper you're going to write. You're writing an argument, and some of you are writing questions that are going to make you do a research report. That is not what you're doing. This is not an IRR. This is not a research report. This is an argument. Okay, so that means you have to take a position. So let's look at these stems. Okay, what is the best way to? That's solution based. How should? Those are solution based. So basically, what is the best way to approach writing let's say, protest songs. How should artists approach writing about social issues? Okay, those are some examples. A position base is protest music important in our society? Yes or no? See the difference? Should protest songs be played on the radio? I don't know. Something like that. So we got all these types of questions. Now, to what extent allows you to take some middle ground or evaluate the strength or the impact? So you got all that. So that would take a little bit more finesse and skill as far as evaluation, and that's fine if you were going to do that. All right. So let's go look at this. To the next one. Okay. So here's some other examples. So how should urbanization, this is based on the stimulus material we had in 2019. How should urbanizing cities in Latin America mitigate their environmental impact? What is the best way to mitigate the negative effects on the environment of rapid urbanization in Asia? Okay, so those are some examples. All right. Why am I moving the slide? I didn't mean to do that. Position based. So should new urbanism be implemented to combat the environmental effects of urban sprawl in the United States? Do the advantages of regulating speech online outweigh the disadvantages? Is fast fashion more detrimental than it is beneficial? And then to what extent does the ease of access to technology impact the communication skills of the youth? Ooh, I could write a whole bunch on that one. All right. So we got examples. So your questions. This is what you're doing. Okay. This is the assignment that you should be working on. And so just another way to basically say this is, does your research question require a judgment or evaluation to be made? Yes or no? If it's no, then you need to rewrite your questions. Are the components of your question researchable? Is there actual research to help you answer these questions? If there really isn't, then no, and then you shouldn't use it. Does it involve genuine points of ongoing debate? Meaning that it's not some superfluous question. It's not you being devil's advocate. Sorry, I don't know what I was trying to say. Devil's advocate. Is this an actual ongoing debate that's going on that has multiple perspectives? If again you say no to that, or does it not bring in engagement with alternative perspectives, then no, you can't answer it. Is it simple? Meaning, is it just one question? What we don't want is multiple questions to be within your one question. And sometimes you guys do that and you make your job harder. We don't need that, because if you have nested questions, you need to address every one of them. And that you cannot simply, that changes the scope. Okay. So let's talk about required judgment. So argument versus report writing. And let's look at it. This is an argument paper. So the topic, let's say, is social media. What are the advantages and disadvantages of social media? This doesn't require a judgment. This is just explaining. And that is not what we want. We don't want that. Do the advantages of social media outweigh the disadvantages? That is a position. Okay.